Good morning, teacher. My name is Andres Guaman. I'm going to read chapter on one of the giver. It was almost December, and Jonas was beginning to be grieving. No word, Jonas thought. Fintan met that did signet feeling of something terrible about to help. Breathing had was the way he had felt a year ago, where at Unity aircraft had overflowed the community twice. He had seen it both times, skidding toward the sky. He had seen the silk jet almost a blur at its height spill go past, and second later heard the vast sound the follow. Then one more time, and moment later, from the opposite direction, the same plane. At first, they had been only fascinated. He had never seen aircraft so close, for it was against the rulers for pilots to fly over the community. Occasionally, were supplied were the livery by Clark planners to the landing flight. Across the river, the children rode three bicycles to the riverbank and Tribeca. The on landing and the direction to the west, always away from the community. But the aircraft a year ago had been different. It was not a squat fall belly cargo plane, but a neat single pilot jet. Jonas, looking around, and actually had sea of stir adults as well as children stopped what they were doing and wait confused from the explanation of the fragment given, written and graven. Then all of the citizens had been ordered to go into the nearest building and stay there. Immediately, the rasping bass through the speakers had said, "Leave your bicycles where they are." Instantly, obediently, Jonas has dropless his bike on his side on path B family days. He had run indoors and stayed store alone. His parents were both and his little sister Lily was was at the child center where she spent had after school hours. Looking through the front window, he had seen no people, none of the busy afternoon crowd of their cleaners, lifting workers, and food delivery peoples. We usually populars the community at that time of day. He say only the bandit bikes here and there on their sides, and obstinate wheel on one was still revolving slowly. He had been frightened the second the sense of his own community silent weight had stayed made so mature. He had Tumblr. Buddhist had this bit nothing. Within minutes the speaking and turn again. And the voice resounds note and lest Jürgen had explained that a pilot in training had misread his navigation instruction and made across a ground turn desperately. The pilot had been trying to make his was back payload is where error noticed. Even the thrilling quest is goal in the use the term vitally displayed. During the teammate who miss Scott arise. Jonas as was is what had Joe's at his best friend. That is Arshel. Your lace when Asler closely Error had lost a match for his team. He had been taken aside from a red and serious attack by the Chuck. Had how his heart with will and embracement and apologized to Asio after the game. No thinking about the feeling of fear as the pill hung along the river path. He remembered that moment of palpable stomach sinking terror when the aircraft had stricken above. It was not what he was feeling now with December approach. He searched for the right word to this feeling. Jonas was careful about language, not like his friend Asher, who talk too fast and made things up. Spring War and Paris unit they were barely recognizable and often very fine. Jonas Green, remembering the morning that Asher had this share in the classroom late as usual, arriving brilliantly in the middle on the ending of the morning and the met when the class took their seat at the conclusion of the Patrick hit as remember extending to make his public about record be quiet. I apologize inconveniently in community. I shall write through apology. Phrase rapidly, still watching his read. The instructor is the class way from the police explanation. The students had always offering feeling because we haven't is listening the haven't explanation so many times before I left home at the correct time. The handwritten, the hattery. The trio was separate the some Salmon, I guess Simon, Washington. Apologies to make class this. Asher conclude his son is round time down. We accept your apology, Asher. The class rate the standard response in unison. Many of the students were beating their lips to get from louder. It accepted your apology, Arshal, the instruction said. He was smiling and I thank you. Because one again you have provided an opportunity from a lesson in language. Distracted is too strong an adjective to describe Salmon Dane. He under and throw on the instructional board beside in the brow distracted. Jonas nearing his brow now simility at the recollection, drinking still as he will his way into its narrow port beside it, a door. The reason that 13 has the forward word to describe his feeling now that December has almost there is was to store an adjective. He had to wait a long time some this December. Not that this was almost upon him. He was fitting about he was as eager in December he was about for to the come and there was the end. Thank you, teacher.